To my favorite viewers, welcome back to another episode of Podcast with Damane Thabang. Today, andikho ndedwa ndihamba no Msiyana. He goes by the name of Siya
Tomas.
Thomas. Usually, andiye ndilifake igama lesilungu. When I introduce myself, I have, but I didn't. Yeah, and Ilfaki because there was this other guy, I think Ngansa Kulayo. We were still in junior. Lomchita uti. Why utandel kamala kaku? Because Thabang like was a lot the time the Kulefri said. So I would prefer my English name. Why, brah? Inga too oppressed. Only to find out why he took that line from Iren's Zag. So he said that to me. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna use this. Otherwise, welcome to podcast, Brian, and thank you for making time over Uzobalapa Nati tonight.
Thanks to you. Man.
Yeah. You can take it, Brian, now so that the viewers can know you as well.
No, you've made it quite simple. Siya Tomas. Those are both my names, by the way.
Yeah.
My surname is Qongeni.
Sure.
But then I've started using those names because he has Lando Klaus sends IG, by the way. Klaus sends a handle yakho.
Yes.
Sometimes it will allow you to do a certain name
and then if you fucking numbers
and then ended
abantu bona say ngo Thabang Damane 97
97 but I random
no.
For me it was like that and then I started using it because anyway igama lami but abantu bacimba okay mhlambi stage name kanye igama lakho uyabona ku social media and whatever but
those are your two names.
Those are my two names.
I'm actually glad that you are here, Brian. Why did I to introduce it? It's because I know I've chilled with a lot of Xhosa bros. So most city kubos azise. It's I peleli aphe egameni. Funeka kuma next sit ndimuzikhali ke mna. Ehle ngazo uba makaziwe fully. Otherwise I'm very grateful for the fact that you came and joined us to this podcast. Apakle podcast we talk about HIMGROOMIng. We talk about graduations. When I say graduation in manhood, analysis or understand what is it that we are talking about. Because there is a stage whereby you are just a young boy and then you graduate to a manhood and then everything has to change. So when the cooler there was a confusion. After my graduation, I was like, okay, now I'm here. How do I, before we can get to that, because to get there. I think just to break the ice, let's play a game, Brian. It's a drinking game.
Okay.
So this is how it goes. I ask you a question. If you are comfortable to give me an answer, you give me an answer and you also ask me a question. So, if you have an option of not answering the question. If you not answer the question, you drink a shot.
Okay.
So that's how it's going to be.
Do I have an option of not asking you any question? Or can you
well, if you don't have any question, then it's not a must.
Okay.
But if we are pendula and then there's no... So that means I'd be the one who have to take the shot.
Anyways, the host.
So, my first question, just to break the ice, what is something that you have Googled that you aren't proud to admit?
It has to be pornography. Which guy hasn't Googled pornography?
So Konakwi's dead says it's a million.
Yeah, because a million. Because a million. But that's a still understand? You understand? I think it's definitely that.
Sure.
That. Yeah.
Pornography,
yeah.
Okay, no, away. So
you wrote many people admitted to that.
Exactly.
Especially those people who are in relationships.
Exactly. Yeah.
But obviously when you are in a relationship with you need to talk about such things.
Yes.
If ever zenzeka at that time.
Yeah.
If ever akekho ebengekho kanye ixesha isenzeka lento that was before. Yeah.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that was before?
No, that was before.
Okay, that was before. Okay. So I want you to be honest. Do you pee in a shower?
A lot.
Shit.
A lot. I don't think it's something in my feet. Yeah, even if we're having a conversation It's not one of those
This
things.
is why I don't take a shower at Jimmy.
Nah.
Yeah. Because you have to have flip-flops. Mostly at Jimmy. Even if Flo has at Jimmy, you can see parts. But me and you both, Brian, I want shy away from that. I also so yes, Baleka short to making sure how
no, ndiyafuna ufika ne but ngendlela right.
Oh, right. Okay, here's the last question. Ne? Do you buy drinks for strangers just to get to know them? No. I'll have to disagree with that.
Why?
Because the day there was a drink on the table and I arrived. I was a stranger.
But you're not sure if I bought the drinks or what?
I arrived and you were there. And I was a stranger.
Okay.
And you take your shot. I've got you on this one. I've got chance. I've got you on this one.
But I wouldn't... anyways.
After I shot you can explain.
No. But when I'm going
yeah.
Both can you
Yeah.
Now. Okay, when you spoke of a stranger already, okay, mhlambi.
Oh yeah.
Ladies, yeah. I wouldn't take any out as a stranger.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. I don't think I've done it before. Because I think I've got a tendency of wanting people to always approach me, although it's a wrong element for guys because you're supposed to be a hunter.
Exactly. Not be hunted.
Yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes it happens that you have this ego because the ego, great and pride.
Yeah.
So I like people to come to me.
Yeah. Not about when we are cool.
Yeah.
Well, it makes the both of us because I think I have low element. If ever I can see someone from a distance and be like, if we can pair up with that guy, we can operate like a good thingy. But now, for me to go there, it takes a while. And sometimes I've wasted a lot of time. And we spoke about whatever idea that I had at that moment, and we've already executed it. So it happens sometimes. I go whereby you feel like you just need to be in your element, in your own space. So it came for now. We are done with it. As short as in Zagbamba somewhere else. So let's go in our context again.
Hopefully it's money now.
So I want us to go back a bit, just for you to obvious akekho umntu ovela se inguye engusiya ephelele enje. There is where you are coming from, and there have been hardships that you've been faced before. One of which I think to talk about the hardships zakho, it will also help intwane khulayo to understand that okay, I'm not going through this alone. There's also someone who've been here who've experienced the same thing. And then akwazi uba adjust in whatever that he's being faced with, because that's actually what I want mna nawe sithethe ngayo lonto, trying to close the gap, because there's a huge gap between a manhood and I'd prefer igama elithi amakwenkwe but I'm just boys, so I'm trying to, like, because mawukhulayo sometimes, because ndikhulele Eastern Cape as much as ndingumSuthu.
Xhosa izakho siyatsho
oba ndikhulele apha.
But ndivenge ngelaa xesha besikhe sancokola ngendaba ye-language.
Oh yeah. So there was this barrier between now with my uncles nxa ndikhulayo, whereby there were kukhona ne-meetings ezibanjwayo but andikho invited. I would feel like ndiyiphathe family, but what's happening, why bengandifaki, yabo? So I would like you to take us a little bit back in terms of i childhood yakho, your parents, njalo yabona, isikolo apho ubufunda khona yonke lana. Yeah.
I think I'll be very brief when it comes to that, because I think everyone has a very rich history.
Yeah.
So for me, basically in the Kulele Cape Town.
Sure.
Kulokushe kuthiwa iKhayelitsha.
Oh, Kulele culture.
A culture straight, yabo.
Yeah.
Location, everything is happening there.
Exactly.
So you need to find a way to navigate into the positive side of izinto.
Okay.
It's not always easy because influence is very much high.
It's a lot.
And you have to take baby steps if ever you want to get somewhere.
Sure.
And so I grew up with 2 sisters, and then my parents. Although I have other siblings on the other side, but ke yazazi zanto bakho abantwana basemtshatweni bekho abantwana we grew up in such an environment. And then in terms of ikhaya lento kudla ngothiwa kwakhaya khulu iyathanda mosilanto kakumbi abakuthi esiXhoseni.
Exactly.
I do have ikhaya up Eastern Cape.
Sure.
And lapha eStatarem.
Okay.
Zonke ke izinto zam.
Estates. Sure.
Zonke ke into zam ke eziya kule nto ke graduation ethetha ngayo zenze apha ke kwathi yonke loo nto leyo. Yeah, but from my background yami kakhulu based in Cape Town. I've been such again the I've studied there from primary, high school as well as tertiary level in Paya. But growing up, I was more interested into sporting activities. A lot. Sport.
Which sport? There is a lot that tossers are being, forgot in.
Well, it's not the usual.
It's not the usual.
Yeah, it's not the usual.
By hockey though.
Yeah, field hockey.
Okay, sure. I figured.
Yeah, field hockey.
Sure.
Now, because we were in Nabileyo, as Lokshin, we got introduced to it around 2008. And then
which grade are you doing? Oh, and so expose the age,
yeah. I was exposed to those names, but at that time, Sure. At that time, 2008, that's when I commenced with this thing of
the sport,
playing hockey. But at that time, obviously, I did not have much knowledge into the sport, and then I started, playing with the other kids at that time, and then grew up. Around 2012, I went on my first tour. Actually, I got selected for Western Province.
2012. Okay.
Yeah, I got selected for Western Province hockey.
So
koko le week try interprovincial tournament where kudlala
provinces
zonke. You understand? So that was my first tour in 2012. And then I ran from 2012 till 2016.
You've been playing for provincial
18, brother.
Yes.
All those years, 18.
That means you were good, man.
I'm good. I can't spot
so I can imagine maybe you were just operating there.
No, you must not undermine there's a lot of people who have so much talent and skill. But then obviously they don't have all the necessary means to have access to such sports.
Fields and all of that. Also, they are not that accessible. You understand?
But mostly it's on AstroTurf. So it's not easy for you to have access to that. Same as the scholars of Funda Koso Yabana, because most kids as it a sport Model C schools and all of that. And Tinas Pumekas, from a small, group to club, and so on and so forth. So growing up, I was more into sport. I think that's where I should. Man, we vala up.
So just so everyone else and myself, we can be certain that nyan you've played the hockey. I want you to give. You can't tell me about what's that stick? You also call it a pet? Hockey?
No, it's a hockey stick.
It's a hockey stick.
Yeah.
Okay, and then your boots. What do you call them? Hockey boots.
Hockey boots.
There's no
hockey
specific.
Ball.
Okay, hockey ball. That's boring. Fuck. Okay.
I understand the concepts as call in industry, in environment. But it's going is in industry. But no, it's simple.
Sure.
So shin pads,
obvious.
Even structure. So hockey. There's 11 players like ball.
11 players. In such a small field.
No, it's not small. It's similar to a disc.
I think I've seen some, but it seems like it's so tiny, bro.
It's not tiny.
So which positions are you playing there?
Same
midfield
positions.
Pogba there.
I was playing link.
Oh, okay.
Then try midfield.
Yeah. It's similar to
striker. Yeah. Sometimes I play drop striker.
Yeah.
It's not easy playing such positions.
Yeah.
You must be very vigilant.
Yeah,
and
because
make sure that
everything it's happening around you.
It's happening around you.
Yeah.
So you're holding the team because the engine. Yeah, bo?
So you were coming with that black excellence in it. Away. So as about Chilone, that ukhule as umntana okhulela ngaphandle kwasemtshadweni.
No, phakathi.
Phakathi emtshadweni. With siblings ezikhulela ngaphandle. Sorry, my bad.
Yes. So very important Londo futhi.
Very important Londo because we get to understand okay, ishape ntoni njani yonke lanto. My bad, ne. So how was it you growing up compared to siblings zako? Did you get umhlawumbi to experience where your parents umhlawumbi one of your siblings had an injury at school and then they have to talk umhlawumbi ngalonto phambi kwenu or something like that?
Those are packs, chief.
Yeah.
Where you have parents as high school we need to zip packs as I didn't have such. Yeah. I see sometimes parents going, even when we see hockey, I never had my parents coming to watch.
Yeah.
You understand? Because they didn't have access to that. I was the first person to have imoto endlini. You understand?
No.
So ndiyakuva lento ithethayo.
Yeah.
But okay, how was the relationship? The relationship was there.
Yeah.
There was a direct relationship from myself and my siblings.
Yeah.
But then I think it started getting intact ngokusesibadala. You understand?
Because now nini abayenza ibe.
Yes. We bring that purity and spark in between.
Yeah.
You understand? Because ngela xesha again brother bambadala kum. You understand?
Sure.
So ibingazuba khona incoko ecaba. Yabona? But now that okay, now ungenile ngoku.
Exactly.
So there's a conversation.
Yeah.
Omnye umuntu unengcosi nami nengcosi.
Away. So now niyakwazi urelate with us. By the way, congratulations man on your fatherhood. I hear about the childhood yako and also with his siblings zako, which is very good to have his siblings. By the way, ndikhule without any older brother. I'm the old one endlini with 2 other siblings abazemva kwami. Onlandela, imagine he's only in grade 6, bruh. Now grade 6. So sometimes I feel like I need to conversate with someone about real life situations, but there's literally no one. And cousins engabandinazo ezingamahrotman, they are way older than me. So even if they experienced whatever that I'm going through, but like it won't be the same. It won't be the same, you understand? It won't be the same. Otherwise, hence I asked you of this because I want us to build up going kakuhle just to get to understand yonke into, yabo? So now let's go to adultery, ne? Since I've said Tata and I've said congratulations about that. Otherwise, how's fatherhood?
Fatherhood is.
I see you even glow more.
It's not as easy as it looks. There's a certain way people perceive you, and how you also portray yourself on social media.
Sure.
Particularly. And I'm mentioning social media because obviously you're going to have me
You
understand?
Yeah.
But then there's difficulties. You understand that? Whether it be finance and all of that.
Yeah.
Because now it changes the structure. It changes the budget and all of that. You understand? But nonetheless, I think fatherhood, it's unpete grand.
Sleepless nights is order, ziti.
Papa. They complain but survive. But survive. Yeah.
Okay, no, I'd like you to just briefly take me through into your fashion and him grooming. About into the skincare and all of that, because I saw you're someone who's very invested in such things and all of that.
Well, firstly, I think all of this started post-matric, where you find yourself, okay, now you've obviously entered into manhood.
Sure.
You have to treat yourself right. You have to make sure everything goes right by your side. In terms of grooming, in terms of finance, in terms of all of that.
Yeah.
And then I think investment started. So I'd say...
Who's investing? Are you investing or...
I'm investing to myself.
On yourself?
Yeah, I'm investing into myself.
Sure, yeah.
Because if you think... because this is a very complex thing, by the way.
Yeah.
If you look at it from a point of
yeah.
you as an individual, but ungapheleli apha.
Yeah.
Maybe now start working with brands, maybe start working with other people that have some sort of experience in the industry. You understand? Your approach is very important.
Yeah.
So how I dress up or how I look, it's very vital for you to know that, okay, already okay, this is the type of person. Because now you yourself, you say, okay, when you went through my page, this is understand?
Yeah.
So my investment, my interest, it started when the city, okay, I want to work with brands, I want to work with this type of people, I want to have conversation with this type of people.
Yeah.
So the first thing was my posture.
Exactly.
Am I ready to be there with them?
Exactly.
You understand?
And
so
if you are put in a room with someone who's bringing whatever that you want, are you able to conversate alone to law?
Yeah.
I hear you. Okay, you've put yourself, you've put minds behind your fashion sense, you've put your minds behind what is it that
and money behind because listen, you can't do this thing without money.
Of course.
And the little that you have, now you have to make sure that, okay, some of it, yeah. It starts small because now you're going to be competing with people who have much experience, different dress codes,
yes.
Expensive dress codes.
Exactly.
And when
bro.
But then what I always suggest to people is that you can start small. Starting small is maybe if you've got a good fashion sense, or focus more into imbal. You can go to Mr. Price, you can go to Cotton On, you can go to H&M. Now I'm talking of places that are affordable.
Yeah.
And then you can just make a little concoction of these clothing
combinations.
You understand?
And all of
you
that.
Understand?
Yeah.
And then you start your thing. So there isn't Sidukwe, it's much more complex than you think. It doesn't need someone who's going to be narrow-minded. Those out here, okay, no man, I'm just going to survive up and LV.
Yeah.
So
that's a social standard now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the type of mentality
Yeah. You know, with you saying that, I think Cotton On, Mark Hams, and Mr. Price, bro, they must come on this podcast and give us Ilandoga, because I've been mentioning them also before, and now you are coming again, repeating the very same thing. So we deserve to be. Exactly, they must come and work with us. You understand? So, with a fashion sense, I know as Umchita, if you are dressing nice, you attract a lot of mummies. So let's go into relationships. Up. So now you're changing your wardrobe. It becomes proper the way you want it, but now your budget is very limited. How do you manage your finances because we can't run away also from the fact of our relationships also they need guap. So how are you managing between that young alone?
I think a simple way to respond to you, don't rush into a transformation when you're not ready. Okay. A situation Yako will tell you.
Yeah.
Just because now there's a woman next to you.
Yeah.
Don't start changing. Let her know.
Sure.
You understand?
Sure.
Try and fit her into a budget.
That you
understand?
Yeah.
There must be a direct communication between you two and an agreement about, okay, when it comes to finances. I know sometimes, okay, listen, Baba man, this is our restaurant twice a month.
Sure.
This month, 4 times. And that's a lack of discipline. Yeah, but nonetheless, coming back to
per month.
I don't. Honestly speaking, I'm not honestly,
Sure.
Look, how many times did I go for breakfast or lunch? You understand?
Sure.
Because I find okay, no such challenge call.
Yeah.
South maneuver around.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
but yeah, coming back to a point, Yako, make sure that our rush to do is in the but imali yakho nayo, and you've got a fixed amount, by the way. Whereas okay, and the amount every month, Because that's when izinto zaqala isutshintsha khona. Yeah, just try and stick to that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because, bruh, that's basically what I do from time to time. I remember Benteta now at this other time you said, if ever there is another liquid cash, a more engenayo, just put it aside. It's okay again. I felt guilty when you said that because I was like, oh, I'm always chowing it, bro. I'm always on top of it, making sure they're getting straight. So now, with the relationships, of course, ukule, ezinye zazo you outgrow them. Ezinye zazo izinto you realize okay, lento le it was unnecessary for now mandiyenze.
Yeah.
So up to so far, that you think in a relationship, it's not that much of a priority for like abantu that are in a relationship to always think about it's forefront.
Question is very tricky.
Yeah.
Your question is very tricky because we're battling with love and money nowadays.
Yeah.
And it just depends on who you're dealing with at that time.
Yeah.
Because when ungati in the forefront it's love, but kuye
ibe imali. Of course.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how to answer that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for me, I feel like it's very tricky. Yeah, it's very tricky.
Also for Siana, this is how I view things. Ne? If she's here for what you can offer, she will consider what you offer. If ever she came for money because abona umsiana ezilungiselela usebenza ne-brands, then it's she will have to forfeit whatever that she came with.
Yeah.
Mayise phakathi. If she wants to buy, unfortunately, because imali ayikho, you understand? Akokuthini, you also wena as umchita you have to accept okay, lento beyizele which is imali ayikho. As you've said, you need to be patient with yourself as out and make sure you are steadily growing in whatever that you are doing. So now, Msiana, let's say you've grown into this relationship. Now the guap is coming. Now you are seeing now, okay, we can elevate now. We can go to the next level. What are things that couples should do frequently just to keep the spark going? Because good relationship is spark sometimes is happen. And then
many times, by the way.
Many times. And then but now you must be a man and work on it. So what are those things or things about they can bring back excitement and
For City, I myself have to work on it. Yeah, again, it
okay, Man City, you as a man, I mean,
it's a relationship.
the both of you,
yeah.
Oh man, not low.
She must be ideological.
Sure.
Yeah. This is what we can do, baby. I want to and so on and so forth. But for me, I'm a huge fanatic of vacations, activities, and all of that.
Sure.
But sometimes you'll be dealing with Omdu who's maybe has less interest with that.
Okay.
But at least they must try and fit into a schedule cycle from time to time.
Sure.
Because relationship sometimes it's about compromising.
Sure.
Compromise iko yako, pride yako for omnye umntu just ukuba into yenzeke. You understand? But obviously percentage yethu singamachita so
when it comes to those things.
And we don't win a lot when it comes to that because you know, the mentality with women, they always want to roll and and all of that. Sometimes I get tired.
I'm thinking something else with that. Recently you went to Namibia and you had a ride with camel and you said something. You said, this is why women
they don't want to ride.
I think I know. And you are running from the answer. I think you must take a shot.
Even this word of riding, even this thing of riding, it's very wrong, man. Imagine a guy riding. but so to say, my experience with camel riding, absolutely fantastic. Even with the whole vacation setup was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Another thing that made it quite smooth is because I've obviously planned prior to the time.
Sure.
And for me, I always try and make sure that 3 months before the vacation or whatever trip that I'm going to be doing at that time.
Sure.
Is set.
Yeah.
We make sure that the itinerary is set, and then you communicate obviously with a partner on type of activities.
So you've never cancelled on a vacay?
Once you book flights, Chief.
Yeah, no, once you book flights, then there's no going back.
No, there's no going back.
Because that's a lot of money. Yeah,
there's no compare. Once you book, sometimes there's arguments in between, by the way. And you stress a lot because now it's getting closer. The time's getting closer for the vacation, and you want to make sure that there's no fighting and there's nothing. Everything is clean.
Yeah.
But a week before, there's just a fight, another fight, and you can't cancel the trip.
You know what happened?
So you must not act with emotions and contempt.
You must relax.
Chief.
Yeah. Bro, just last year, it's not so long ago, just last year, I had to forfeit, bro. We booked flights to Cape Town. I had to forfeit. Because a day before,
there was a fight.
A day before, imagine. And I didn't know how to handle it. In my head, I was like, I hope tomorrow makes up for this. I didn't handle that whatever we're fighting about. When the time came, I was like, okay, Masambe, she said, I'm going nowhere. You can buy if you want to.
Because can't out the previous day.
Bro. So I had to forfeit. So now I'm no longer planning any vacations now. Someone must plan vacations and then
someone must pay.
Obvious, I'll have to pay. I'll finance. Obvious, but also it must be in a period, obvious, for budget and all of that, you understand? So such things isn't what is true. So last year I had to forfeit. Anyway, let's go to finances, bro. As much as Sesitete Kwangazo already. You've done Forex.
Yeah, I've done Forex. I commenced with Forex in 2019.
So Forex is not a scam?
No, it's not a scam.
Okay.
No, it's absolutely not a scam.
Sure.
There is people, however, that are scamming people.
Okay.
Yeah, to obviously boost their disposals and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's not a scam. I once got scammed, by the way. Not once.
Go Forex?
Probably twice, yeah.
Damn.
Not exactly on Forex, but on investment platforms.
Oh, okay.
Because once you start this thing of Forex trading, you obviously want to impose yourself into different things that evolve around money. But this guy was doing Bitcoin and I don't know. But then it happened with that I got scammed, I think around 3.5 at that time. And imagine ubeya mhlawumbe sithi 5,000 kanye 4,000.
Your 3.5 gone.
There's this idea that...
And that time you were hoping...
3.5 return yako, it's going to be 20,000.
Bro.
And you're already planning by 20 grand.
Bro.
It's out in
the couch change. It's TV. I understand. Yeah.
But for me, I think it was a learning curve. You understand?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Forex trading is something that is real. It's out there. It's happening. Yeah.
How much have you made? Like the biggest bag you've made on Forex?
Okay, on Forex, I think on one trade, the highest.
Wait, what's one trade? Like one bit?
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Yes. On one trade, the biggest I've made in a very short time radius, I think it was around 6K, 7K.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It is a lot, but again, depending on your competitors, if ever you taking it from that way.
Yeah.
And again, as Ban said, you're making it in a very short space of time.
Sure.
Yeah, but maybe less than 2 minutes or maybe less than a minute.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's very much interesting at that time. But if you ever don't understand or fully comprehend, by the way, if you ever don't understand you can lose all of it. Because it works with margins. Yeah. You understand? It works with a lot size and all of that.
Sure.
So you must have a direct understanding of the basic concepts, how it moves, when it moves, and all of that. But for me, I was trading VIX. Have you heard of VIX?
VIX, no.
Volatility indexes.
The time I was trying it, I was doing chat whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, but I wasn't using any brokers. Were you using brokers?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to use a broker, by the way.
Yeah.
Remember, broker, it's something that is in the middle.
Sure.
Between you
and your money.
Exactly.
Sure.
So there has to be a broker where you're going to be saying, okay, in my disposal, here's my money. I want to remove.
Msiyana, siphuma kamnandi kuwe Msiyana. Ina nansi short.
A broker, it's something that's in the middle.
Sure.
By the way, between you, nelandikali, nele trading platform yakho, there would be obviously bank and then it broke and then you and then when ulapha.
Sure.
So that money has to be transferred from all these stages before it gets to you, before it gets there.
Yeah.
It's the same as when you send a deposit.
Okay. And then I need the other person.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. Well, I've tried it also. Good 2019 because 2019. I was broken. I was thinking of always the quickest ways of making money. And at that time, but 2019, I think Forex was on peak when it comes to side hustles
Forex and Herbalife.
And Herbalife,
marketing, yeah.
And I've seen you also, you were also into Herbalife.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
I was. Herbalife in the again, you supervisor position, where you're able to purchase products at 50% and you but then it needed more people. And I found myself that, I knew
who can go and approach.
Going around but I'm very much persuasive. I can persuade people to buy into the idea.
It's a Jan thing.
Sure, they must accept.
Yeah.
In 2019 a lot happened, but for me it was Forex and Herbalife.
Sure.
Trying to get some money in, man, So but at the same time, Forex trading, if you ever not disciplined about it,
I was coming there.
Yeah,
how much have you lost? As much as you've made your 6Ks and how much have you lost?
There's no fixed amount or a specific amount that I can say I've lost, but I know that it's a lot of thousands that I've lost as much as I've made a lot of thousands in Forex trading.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was in a training at work.
Sure.
She's busy training and I'm busy trading here. Yeah. At that time, I was growing an account for a period of a week, and I told myself, okay, at least by the end of the week, and then I'll make my first withdrawal.
Sure.
But Imali, the way is so devilish. Imali iti xa ifike ku 2 grand. Let's say bufake 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've made 100% profit. You understand?
Yeah.
And then you start moving to 3K. Okay, by the end of the week, at least,
I've been a
6K
sure.
to 10K, and then I start withdrawing. And then something happens, and that something is not being disciplined. You understand?
Sure.
And then it takes you out of the way. I lost about 18,000. That was about $1,000 on Forex trading. And remember losing that, we're trading abantu ba busy. Up. You understand? Because kaloku training must niyafunda and then kubhalwe awubhali
ukhalele ngaso ngabaxelela uba ndinengxaki ndiluze imali plus ndayibona le nto ba okay sifanele sibhale.
Yeah,
sure.
It's one of those I can say ndiyazikhumbula kakhulu.
Sure.
Where like a Bloom account.
Yeah.
Because when you crash your account,
Chief. Even the sound. Do you still remember the sound?
I know the sound. It's the same as when you make that execution. Yeah, the sound is there.
I've done that.
Ubona uva umntu eseback, uba uyamazi Forex uzawuva ngala sound.
Yeah, uzawuva ngala sound. Ukhona ba you uyiblowile. Bro, it's if Forex as much as ndayizama, I've realized uba it needs a lot of concentration. I think I have ADH ndondoni because when it comes to concentration, I lack concentration, bro. I can focus for a good 30. And then the next 30, I must be doing something so random, and then I come back again.
This thing of concentration, by the way, it's a natural thing. Yeah, it's psychological. Sometimes you'd be in a meeting with serious people, as Lapi CEO and all of that. But then you're asking yourself, you're asking yourself, you lose concentration. It happens to the best of us.
I thought I'm the only one who experienced that, bro, because a lot of times I'm sitting and then someone is talking. I'll be like, mine was about unveil. I'll be like, yeah, and the didn't hear shit. And but I was here with them. So I like the fact that we've also touched into Forex, and you've said it to no, it's not a scam. You've made so the 6,000 you've withdrawn it. And
yes. No, I've withdrawn a lot of money. Yeah. By the way,
are you still on Forex?
I'm still on Forex, but then Forex, like I said to you, it needs so much consistency. If ever for me, run out. Let's say maybe I've got 20 or 30 grand on my account.
Yeah.
My personal account. I don't trade. You know, because there's people who have this tendency of wanting to trade when mali yakhe less. Uyabazi ubroke bakho bungakanani most when. Yabo. So I was voting.
And abufan
program. You understand?
Yeah.
So I was voting go players, but okay, shagale 5 grand again.
Yeah.
I think I need to make money. And I'm in Forex. There's so much contempt. There's so much emotions is abapart.
Yeah.
And you will not trade the way you're supposed to trade.
And also focus.
Exactly.
It's because of focus like we profit more than the actual thing that's going on. Bro, it seems like you've already learned this thing and you are mastering it. After this, I need some classes because I think like that's a good side hustle. But I chose money Forex, bro.
It does. It does.
Okay, so let's go on working with brands. There are any brands that you've worked with since you've started your journey of being a brand yourself?
What's the name of this brand now? Because I haven't been working with brands in a while right now.
Yeah.
But there's a skincare brand.
Sure.
I'd put it that way. That I've worked with before. And then mostly on lodge, lodges.
Okay. Yeah. I know lodges. Yes.
Yeah, lodges. Yeah, I've worked with lodges.
Lodges as in like accommodation,
yes,
right?
Accommodation.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I've worked with lodges. There's what's his name now? Once Upon the Dome.
It's the name of the brand.
Yes, yeah. It's okay. Once Upon the Dome.
Okay.
They actually.
Hey! Once Upon the Dome, you must come on this podcast mentioning your names here. Yeah, sure.
No, you actually work with Once Upon the Dome. They've got domes, man, all around the country.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think I've visited almost all of them.
Yeah.
Around the country.
Yeah.
Good places to be. If ever you want to obviously decompress your mind or just escape the.
Wait, the actual domes.
Yeah, the actual domes.
I know there's one here in East London. I've never been. I know there's one. I know one in PE.
I went to the.
You've went to that one.
Yeah,
bro. Maybe I must book a vacay there.
You must start something.
I must operate something. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but for now, since the madam has been working with brands, I said I probably want to jump in,
Yeah.
But because I've been tightly, busy and so I haven't been properly working with brands. But I do want to work with brands once again. I've got my media kit ready, and I'm ready to approach a couple of brands. So it's something that's definitely going to happen quite soon.
Yeah. Bro, once I get that email, bro, of any brand. But
jump.
I'm jumping. But now, you know what's funny? I don't know how much I'm gonna like charge them. So don't
rush into charging. I said this to the madam.
Yeah.
I speak a lot about the madam. Sorry.
It's okay. We understand.
In anything that we do, it's very important to create a good background.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's like now you're cultivating a good relationship with brands.
Yeah.
And don't worry much about the type of brands that you work with. It can be anything. It can be as little as a toothpick or matches.
Sure.
But as long as you're going to be creating something for yourself, and then subsequent to that, you can start working with big brands.
And also, I think with working with brands, because they take you to their channels and all of that. Also, you're gaining something from them because their clientele or fan base, it also taps in your market and as well, and they get to know you. Yeah, I remember this one time. There was this other brand, but it's from Lesotho. So back in 2020, I used to make a lot of videos and post them on YouTube. I forgot the password of that account, of that YouTube account. So they grabbed me there, and then they approached me, and they were like, on the 31st, we need you to make a video. And bro, they gave me a 2.5, a young 2.5. I was like, okay, with this much I can chow. And that time I didn't know that it's actually a thing, working with brands. I just thought maybe they loved what I'm doing, and they decided, no, let's just compensate. Can't it's actually a thing. It's actually, money-making way. Now, I want them. They are not coming.
Find them.
That's how.
Find them.
Bro, I've been trying. Like, but hopefully with time, As we spoke before, and you said everything needs you to have a vision and a plan. And as long as you're running with your plan and you're making sure everything is steady, everything will fall into your plan. As long as we end. So I'm crossing fingers and hoping that
something will happen. Something will pull through.
Something will pull through. So now, let's say you have money. Forex gave you money. Brands gave you money. What are we doing with this money? Are we blowing it? Are we bowling? Or what's the motion? Because we black, ne? And we don't know what to do with money. Yeah.
Remove that mindset.
Okay.
You need to have a direct relationship with money.
Sure.
I've learned this thing the hard way. You only learn it by losing. That's the only way.
Sure.
That's the only lesson when it comes to money.
Yeah.
For you to learn about money, you have to lose money and a lot of money. Because now it prepares you to be strong in the future.
Okay, by the way, we're not saying lose money to babies. Sure.
I know we see them a lot every weekend.
Away. Sure.
But now we're talking of people who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think these people are losing money to baddies, but they've got an intention behind. Yeah. But nonetheless, have a direct relationship with money.
Sure.
Money is, yes, it's just paper, or it's something that's sometimes not tangible, like your Bitcoin and all of that.
Sure.
But then do have a relationship with money. Like I said to you, the best way for you to make sure that you execute things right all the time.
Sure.
Budget.
Make
sure, okay, you've got money for this, you've got money for this. Actually, the madam taught me other. On budget, when you write your fixed, assets and all of that, and variable assets, your food and whatever, and rent and all of that. And then there must be other.
There must be other. Okay, just in case.
I didn't know other until I knew it was very much imperative.
Sure.
So you must have other.
Yeah.
Because that other works a lot for you.
Yeah.
So make sure that...
Okay, other ungena apho khona where your cousin calls and asks for a 5 clip. I hear you. No, I don't have a other. So at least I picked up something.
Have that other.
I'll have that other. Sure.
That other. Yeah, so definitely if things could zipope, I think I'd still focus on okay, what do I do? Because I'm not that person or you took imali, honestly speaking.
Sure.
Not to say that kukumali means disposal. But I'm not shocked. And anzothi xa ndibona 10 grand, 20 grand account. You come because out here ithi yayinjalo nayo. Ithi jaga yafumana NSFAS with 15 blocks. 15 blocks.
NSFAS knows the best of us.
Exactly. Uthi jonga amagxa ayelapha ngalo.
Even
changes.
Even I, bro, I won't lie. With NSFAS, knows me better. NSFAS. Anyway, it's a story for another day. Sure.
Yeah. No. That's it for me. I think budgeting is very much important.
Yeah.
And also, if you want to run a lucrative, disposal.
Sure.
That's the only way for you to make sure you accumulate these amounts from time to time. Whatever you have, amount. I know sometimes they grove, because plan about okay, I'll spend on about 2 grand.
Yeah.
But well, you're 2.5. But now we're talking hypothetically, bakuko budget at 2 grand was spent at 1.5, 35 grand. We sell it back into savings. Instead of but instead of growth. You understand?
We are playing over your spender 1,000 1.5 usbone kuseni usheke 350 uzibuzba anyway, so let's say le mali ingenile ne, what other businesses do you think are easy businesses to invest in? And also, if you're investing, what platforms are you using to invest? So to say, be there your e-commerces and your Bitcoins. But I know those ones, they are the international ones. If you know any other, what are those ways to go about it?
I'd be looking into. There's a lot of international investment platforms.
Sure.
And then obviously there's local ones. I'm not sure about Discovery, whether it's international or local, but you find Discovery quite a lot.
Okay.
It is an investment platform. There's Alex Forbes, there's Ellen Gray, and many others. For me, those are the most...
Wait, Alex Forbes?
Yes.
What are we doing there?
Investing.
Putting money in.
You're putting money in.
And then there's interest.
Yes.
It's sort of a bank way.
I wouldn't say it's a bank. It's an investment platform.
Oh, okay.
Remember, with bank, your money generates small interest.
Yeah, of course.
As compared to...
Because I have this other brother of mine who was asking me, he was like, so which other ways of saving money? Because I'm tired of banks. Like I've been putting money into a bank, but it's not growing. So, yeah.
Alex Forbes.
Sure.
Like I said, Ellen Gray. By the way, Alex Forbes, I've got my money there on Alex Forbes through obviously work, and then I decided to open a separate account for myself. This thing actually, I think, commenced when, just recently, by the way, when there was this two pots thing. Two pots thing, yeah.
I've almost shouted.
You almost shouted. I did shout my one. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what the future holds. So at least before you die, at least
have your hands in there.
Yeah.
Away.
So I did with.
But okay, let me ask you this before we continue. So is it true that if you withdrawing 30,000, 15 vice?
No.
Oh, okay.
Again, it depends on your bracket.
Oh, yeah.
The tax bracket.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so it differs from 18, 20, 26, and so on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, with age or?
No, not with age. Percentage
wise. Tax bracket.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, there's when you're earning a certain salary.
Yeah.
Say from
you fall into a certain tax bracket.
Certain there.
I hear you.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Sure.
Yeah. So just because now you both have 30 grands, maybe you're on 35% and I'm on 18. It doesn't mean that we're gonna get the same amount. So they're gonna tax you based on that
on how much you are getting.
Yes. Okay. So I was saying, Alex Forbes.
So I must try it, Moose. I must try just maybe take out the one pot there.
No, it will come probably in 2 weeks' time. It comes very quick and it ends very quick. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but there's a couple of platforms where you can obviously invest your money in. Sure. Never underestimate Ellen Gray or Alex Forbes.
Sure.
And I'm saying that because I've seen personally the growth of my disposal.
Sure.
It accumulates far much better than your bank.
Yeah.
But obviously there must be a set amount that is in the bank as well, because you have some other issues that might require for you to go and request some money, other than on the platform, because it takes much time to come, or sometimes you'd find that it's for the future.
It's for the future.
Yeah, it's not for now.
It's not for now. Of course, because investments is in India, they want you to have the longevity with them so that they can fully pay the amount that they said they're gonna add on your money as
Absolutely. Yeah.
I remember you. So now we are about to close. I just wanna ask you random questions. Are you a Drake or Lamar fan? Because I know him.
Yeah. Okay. There's a him.
There's a him there. There's a him.
No, I'm not a huge fan of music, honestly speaking.
Okay.
Because I like to. Okay, it's not like you cannot sing along when it comes to Drake and Lamar songs. But there's soulful songs.
Call me on my cell phone.
Call me on my cell phone. Those things don't really speak a lot to me.
I'm just singing along. I don't know the lyrics as well. Sure.
Yeah, but there's other songs where you find, okay, it's soulful, it speaks to you, because I'm a very genuine, elegant person.
And no matter, of course, you must know some so that you can operate some.
And you can win. And you can somewhere.
Exactly. Sure.
Because you cannot be playing a Maskandi song where
you can operate in that one now.
Where now it's movie time.
You understand?
Yeah, there's other activities that you need to focus on. Yeah, but nonetheless, I'm not very much big into music.
You're not a hip hop head that much.
No.
Last, I think the other episode, I had to choose between BM and Mac. Which one are you going for?
I'd probably go for Mac.
Why?
Elegancy. Like I said, I like
just like the finish.
Yeah, the finish.
It's from.
I'm an old money type of a person. Like even the aesthetics.
You don't like the noise.
Yeah, I don't like the noise.
Engineering. It's fine. But
I don't like the noise. Let it be smooth. Let it be quiet.
That's why it's proper.
Yeah, it's proper. It's proper, by the way.
The leather, it feels like it's something smooth.
Exactly,
you don't know how it's done.
And yourself?
I'd go for Beamer, bro. I'd go for Beamer. Sandla Semfene, bro. I like. Thing is, I also ndikhulele kasi ne. So man khulayo, I've seen a lot of BMs being drifted and yonke lanto, yabo. So I've adapted into that. I was like, okay, this a thing. This feels like, and ndithanda as much as I'm into cars, but ndithanda that adrenaline that comes with it, because I'm into sports cars, even if it says I like sports cars. Ndithanda la adrenaline.
I've seen your car.
Come on. Apha abantu bemane besithi, yo, ndithanda lo because
ngabantu kanye ngobani abo abathi ngobani,
even myself.
Okay, sure.
No. No. Otherwise, Bram, I'm very thankful that you came to the podcast today. It was lovely having you. I'll just give you a platform of saying a word of wisdom or an advice to the young ones that are growing. What would you like to say, Nje Kubo?
Don't have much words.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's just focus and discipline into whatever you have objective over. And also don't subject yourself into things, particularly outside things. Because
what are outside things, bro? You can't vimba me groove, please.
Obviously you can. You can go to groove and all of that, but we know the culture there. Especially when you go to our type of groups. Grooves are black people. I must say, it's just toxic. I don't know how can I explain it. There's just this level of toxicity, and it should be called out for, but without saying less or more, focus onto things that will groom you. There's positive and negative connotations in everything that you do, but focus on the positives. You know what your parents said to you. And sometimes always realize that, okay, they were right. Stick to that.
Well, thank you, Tamsiana, for blessing us with your presence today. Guys, please put your digital hands together and we clap for Tamsiana being a lovely first ever guest to be here with us today. So I'm very thankful that we've made it up to this far. Tamsiana, definitely I'll have you back, hopefully. Hopefully. Guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and press that notification button. When this episode ends, make sure that you subscribe there. I love you a lot. From your host with the most, we out.